Hello, hello. Good evening to everyone. Let me let TikTok get on. Hello, TikTok. Hello, YouTube. I am back at it again tonight, and I want to thank anybody who jumps on and gives me your time. Um, okay, thank y'all for giving me your time, and I'm apologizing right off the bat. I have gum tonight because my mouth keeps getting dry. Y'all know when I start talking, I don't stop. So I apologize for the gum that you may see, but I am here tonight because I just want to chat. I just want to have a transparent discussion with everybody. So thank you for joining me. And tonight I want to talk about how our financial struggles, how our financial strains can change who we are. I can talk about that. I can talk about that intellectually. I can talk about that mentally and emotionally because I've been there. I was so there when we were having our financial struggles. Of course, I didn't want it to affect our children. Our girls were so young and I kept it from my family. Within my four walls, when we got married, I made a promise to myself because I know how my family is. I can go ahead and move past whatever has upset me or created some tension in the household. I can move past it. But my family, not so much because they're going to remember, they're going to hold on. So once everything has been repaired, they may still hold on to it just a little bit. So I made a promise to myself and my husband that whatever we were dealing with, it would stay within our four walls and we would try to handle it ourselves. Well, it got to a point where the financial strain was so overwhelming, it literally changed who I was. I have always been extremely silly, just a person full of encouragement for others, because I've said multiple times that I have a servant's heart. So I am here to serve. I truly believe I was put on this earth to serve. So that's just who I am. That's my personality. But because of financial struggles and financial strain and the lies and the cover up and losing things and totally feeling like we had no control over our situation, I couldn't handle it. And it got so bad that my children had no idea when they came home, they had no idea which mama they were going to find. And all of this was because of financial strain. I've said that I've had a side hustle since 1987 because I've never had a salary to exceed my annual expenses, not until 2023 did I get into that space and being able to breathe and not worry about living paycheck to paycheck. That's an experience that I'm still getting used to, even though it has literally been since 2023 that I've been in that space. And that was without a side hustle. That was with being blessed by a raise on my job that I didn't see coming. But I was so grateful. And immediately when I saw the increase, I was like, hallelujah, I am no longer in the space I've lived in all of my life. I'm not going to say all of my adult life, but ever since I've had my own bills, ever since I left the comfort for sure of my grandparents' home, it's always been a struggle. So, being in a space to not have to live paycheck to paycheck, if I can help somebody who's in that current position, regardless of why, I was not frivolous. We did not live an extravagant life. We did not live above our means intentionally. We just did not make enough combined for the basic standard of living. For the rent payment, because this is the first house I've ever owned. I purchased this house in 2011 and I cannot even remember. I think from the time my children moved to this house, we may have lived in 9 different houses. We either lost some, and with one we were evicted. So all of this I was trying to keep from my family. All of this, Ray and I, we were trying to handle it until we couldn't. And then again, like I said, the lies and the extra strain that caused our marriage. And I will tell any and everybody we're no longer married because of financial problems. I know what it feels like when money is ruling your entire existence. I know what it feels like when you're trying your best. You're feeling like the pressure is on you, because I'm going to say, daddies, I love y'all. I had the greatest granddaddy ever to walk the face of this earth. Yes, I did. He was just fabulous. So, daddies, I love y'all. Nothing but respect. We could not function well without y'all. But mamas, regardless of what goes on inside or outside of our house, the weight falls on us. Truth be told, the weight falls on us. Even if we're a mom who is a stay-at-home mom, there are things we're managing and handling in that household so that things run smoothly. So the man can be out there, the husband can be out there, the father can be out there raising the money, or getting in the funds, but that household still has to be managed. But when you're not a stay-at-home mom and the weight of your household, the financial weight falls on you, it really just redesigns your DNA. As I said, I've always been silly. I've always cut up. I've never met a stranger. So my personality is to just love on people, to build people up, and to be in a good space. I like peace. I love peace. But when you run into a financial situation that you absolutely do not control, there is no peace to be found. That is where I am. So I wanted to be real transparent. And I told y'all from the very beginning that I initially got into this space to supplement my income when I retire in 2028. That was my reason for looking for a situation, or a possibility or an option to generate additional income. That was solely the reason I got into this digital space, attempting to generate income that would supplement my retirement. And that was the only thing I was focused on, again, until March of 2025, when I saw so many people, career workers, career employees, who had dedicated their lives and their livelihood to their jobs, to their careers. And because of the decision of one person, they no longer had the opportunity to do what they had been doing nonstop for years. So thank y'all so much for joining me, Mike, Rev, um, it's going too fast, DJ East. Thank y'all. So West Town, hey y'all, thank y'all so much for joining me. For everybody who face the situation of immediate termination of no fault of their own. Somebody made the decision because somebody had the power, the authority, and decided they also had the right to shake up someone else's financial stability, their financial security, their financial well being. So when the breadwinner of the home is now shaken up and no longer on stable footing, that's going to mess up the home. So, of course, if there is a stay at home mom, and she is accustomed to doing things that she's doing with the children, just managing the household, when the breadwinner comes home and says, we no longer have this money coming in because somebody who controlled our financial security made a decision that I was no longer a viable or a needed employee, or when the mom is the breadwinner and the father is home with the children, raising the children, doing whatever it is to run and maintain that household. When the mom comes back and says, we no longer have this financial security because someone else made the decision that I'm no longer valuable, my position is no longer viable, I am disposable, they can move on without me. The feeling, y'all, I've been there. Now, of course, I've not been in the position that they've been in, but I have been in the position 6 different times where someone else controlling the entire financial stability of my household, when they made a decision that I couldn't come back from. They made a decision to either close their practice. They made a decision that since I was pregnant, and they gave more weight to building their business as opposed to someone working for them who is now pregnant, I was going to be more of a burden than I was going to be a liability as opposed to an asset. That's what they thought of me. So in order to get me to quit, they had already said, I don't believe in firing anybody because they're not going to be able to get unemployment insurance off of me. So little did they know. They knew how to do their job, how to run their practice, but they had absolutely no idea, no intelligence of anything outside of that practice. Because had I drawn unemployment insurance, it would have been the 18 months prior to coming to that job. But I digress. So the point of telling all of that is when you are in a position to solely depend on one income stream, an income stream that is at the mercy of someone else. And when you work for someone else, that's exactly what you're doing. You are at the mercy of their decisions, their whims, their bad moves, their ideas and impression of you. I had one person where I worked. I have to share this. I learned this Sunday before last, Saturday before last. Had a lunch with a coworker, a former coworker, and she made the statement that someone who was our executive director. This is the same executive director who cut my hours from full time to part time. I got in at 8 o'clock that morning. At 10 o'clock, I was called into his office. And he told me that your day is going to end at 12 o'clock. You're no longer working full time. You're going to work from 8 to 12, clock out, get gone. Someone else is going to come in for your position. So my one position was divided, split up into two positions. So mine was the 8 to 12. Hers was the 1 to 5. A decision they made when I left Friday, there was absolutely no hint, no indication whatsoever. And this is the same job where I was given a $17,000 raise a couple of years before and promoted to a position that they decided not to interview for because they wanted me for that position. My skill and my experience created that open door for me to get a $17,000 raise. Well, new people came in, our group who were directors at that time, they left. The one who promoted me to the position, they all retired. Two new directors came in. One of those new directors, oh, I'm sure it was a joint decision, but they decided I was no longer needed as a full-time employee. So I went from 8 to 12. Sherry came in from 1 to 5. But this same heartless director looked at another director from another division within our company or organization and told her, if I could reduce your salary, I would, because I don't like what you make. But the thing is, he didn't have the authority to do that. He did have the authority, however, to cut my hours. So when she was safe as far as that is, but she did not like the attitude. She did not like him coming at her that way. He thought it was okay to make that statement. Needless to say, she found another job because she was not working under those conditions. When somebody is running or over wherever you're currently working, when they're over that organization or that business or whatever it is, when you have a boss, you can think that everything is wonderful because you have skills, you are dedicated, you are committed, you even bring additional value to that place of employment. So you don't know what someone else is thinking. They're thinking it, and they're not inviting you into the rooms where the decisions are being made. And the next thing you know, you just pretty much ass out. Sorry for my language, but bottom line, that's the case. So when they make the decision that you are expendable, the next move is you're gone or you're adjusted. Positions get eliminated, budgets get cut. People make decisions even if budgets don't get cut. They can make the decision because they have that power and that authority to just reduce your salary, give it to somebody else, or bring somebody else in and put them over you. When you work for someone else, they can do whatever it is they choose to do to you. Our state, the state where I live, is a right to work state. Meaning, if I go in with this loud shirt on and they decide this loud shirt is giving them a headache, I'm fired. Okay, they didn't really discriminate against me. So if there is discrimination, you can go to, well, at one point in time, you could go to EEOC and complain and plead your case. But if they just decide they don't like the shirt that I'm wearing in this state, they can fire me at will. And all I'm going to be able to do is be fired. So It is imperative that we get into a position of generating income that we control. It does not matter where you start. All that matters is that you start. And you may not even realize it. But when you start dealing with financial struggles, when you start dealing with things that are completely out of your hand, you can take on a personality that is just laced with evil, laced with frustration, and you're not going to take it out on that boss because you need to keep that job. But what you will likely do is take it out on the people closest to you. I had a 5-year old and a 3-year old, and it was getting real tense in my household. So by the time they became what, 11 and 9, it was real shaky because the pressure just continued to build. And I have said before, had it not been for my grandparents, my mom, my younger siblings, I'm the oldest of 10. Had it not been for my younger siblings, my cousins, people just pitching in and helping me when I desperately needed help, when my hours were cut, and I was now working from 8 to 12. When I got in my car, after I shook off disbelief, you know what? I still ain't shook off that disbelief. But the first call I made was to the Department of Family and Children Services. Some people call it the Department of Children and Family Services, but here is DFACS, DFCS. My first call was to them because I knew that I was going to need some assistance in raising my children. At that time, my husband and I were separated, so I had no money coming in from him. This was all on me. But realizing that the salary I had prior to my hours being cut, we were living well because I made enough to handle it all with no pressure. That was also a time where my annual, I take that back. My annual salary did exceed my annual expenses back then. But knowing I had 2 children to raise, they took up a lot. So, and we traveled, we had a great time. Things that I had not been able to do with them or for them, I did it then and enjoyed doing it. The pressure that was alleviated, the joy I felt, it's amazing. I don't love money. So it's like the love of money is the root of all evil, right? But I do want to have money. Yeah, I do. I certainly do. For someone who doesn't, okay, more power to you. But yes, it just makes things go down. And when you swallow, it just makes things go down a whole lot easier. So, yes, money is always making the world go around. Now, those who put a whole lot of stock and love and lust in money, y'all going to hell. I'm just saying it. I'm putting it out there because that it is what it is. But having the ability to go past just barely making ends meet. That's where I lived the majority of my adult life. I've said before, I know what it is to pawn a title. I know what it is to pawn my jewelry. I still don't have my class ring from 1984. I know what it feels like to have to just your car repossessed, literally, to wake up, y'all, to wake up and think someone has stolen your vehicle. Now, I knew I was late, but I thought I had 3 months. I thought I had 3 months before they came back, 90 days to come before they came and got my stuff. So I wake up, I knew, we had gone past the 60. But anyway, I wake up, I called the sheriff's office to report a burglary. I'm thinking someone had stolen my SUV. I called the police department and they're like, no, ma'am, no, that car was not stolen. That car was repossessed. My car was what now? The car was repossessed. I have had 2 cars repossessed. I have been evicted. I have gone back to my house when the locks were changed. I could not get in. When I tried to reach the person who actually did the lease for us, who leased the house for us, by the time I got in touch with them, all of our stuff had been put out. I took piano when I was 8 years old until I was 11. The piano that my mother purchased for me when I was 8 years old, I don't know where it is. because they went in and they cleaned out the house. I've lost videos of my children. We lost so many memories, things our girls had made us when they were little bitty. We lost those because we were evicted. The locks were changed. Yeah, that's happened twice. So I know what it is, what it feels like to suffer financially when you do not have enough, when you cannot, no matter how hard you try. And I'm telling y'all, I bought, I have never been a materialistic person. So it's not like I wanted to go get the fancy cars. Now I tell y'all, I love me some good purses, but all of my purses I get at the outlet. But anyway, I do. I really love purses, but I don't care about shoes. I don't care about clothes. I don't care about y'all. I don't spend. I'll spend some money on my nails because I can't do them, but my hair, I do that all. I listen. I do not spend frivolously, and if I have to reduce something in order to make ends meet, I'll do that. If we can't go eat out for a month because that money needs to go somewhere else, I'm quick to pivot. I am quick to pivot and cut out whatever needs to be cut out. But when you don't make enough, initially, right off the rip, when you don't make enough that for your ends to meet, when you are always in the mindset of robbing Peter to pay Paul, when you have to do the title pawns, when you have to get the payday loans, when you pawn your jewelry, and you pick up some side hustles, when you do all of that and it's still not enough. And of course, there was a time when we lived off of credit cards, but I would pay stuff two and three times because I had interest tagged on. So whenever we got our income tax back, that was like our hallelujah moment because we were able to catch up a little bit of something. We couldn't take that and just go have a nice dinner. That was always, we were always in the place of catch up. That was the life. And again, not living frivolously. We just had a certain skill set that would garner a certain income. And just the economy. And the economy wasn't really bad. Stuff was just high. I mean, it was difficult. It was difficult to stay afloat. We did the best we could. We did not just go out and spend like absolute lunatics. We literally did the best we could. And then when I became a single parent, that was literally when my personality got the worst. So much so, some things I did, things going off on our children, just being hateful, waking up. I can't even say I woke up on the wrong side of the bed. I woke up on the wrong side of mental stability because that my girls and I, we will have conversations. They will remind me of something that I did, and I have absolutely no recollection of it. I don't have a recollection of it because my mind at that time was so jacked up. I wasn't drinking, I wasn't drugging, I was not hoeing, I was not doing anything like that. So I was still trying to hold it in and hold it together and dealing with all of that pressure. So again, my children had no idea from sun up to sundown what mother they were going to face. If they left clothes somewhere and I told them to put them away, I might throw away the clothes. I might throw away the toys. Now, what I didn't do was beat and abuse them. And like I said, I wasn't the druggy type drinking, none of that. But my personality was so stank and I was so evil. I was never happy. I probably went 4 years without a piece of joy in my soul because the pressure was overwhelming and I could not shake it off. It didn't matter what I did. I could not shake it off. When I got the job that I have, and I've told y'all this job was my dream job. The job, or is my dream job, the job that I got after that critter cut my hours to part time, and then I just quit. And I went back to school, and then I also, um, when I went back to school, we were also living off of my student loans, which is why I owe student loans today. Had I just had I just applied the amount of my classes, I wouldn't have but $10 in student loans. Y'all don't even want to know how much I owe in student loans. But we lived off of that because I got unemployment compensation And we also lived off of student loans. So, or my extra, if whatever went to pay for my classes and my books and all of that, whatever was left over, we lived off of. It was mandatory. It was literally mandatory. I lived in a house that one of my brothers owned, and he was real sweet about that rent. He could have gotten probably twice as much as I was paying for rent, but his heart didn't let him go there. And you know who you are, brother dear. I thank you so much. So I was given so much grace during that time. But the one thing that I could not control was how I reacted to our situation. And I took that out on my children. I took that out on my children. So, like I said, y'all, some of the things that I did, now, again, I was not abusive. So I don't want anybody to get that in your mind. But my attitude, they have the mother now that I wish they had had back then. I so wish. I can't go back and undo it, but I can learn from it. And I can also stress to any and everybody who's dealing with any kind of financial stress, y'all monitor your, please monitor your behavior. Please monitor your behavior, especially around those you love. Do not let your financial straining cause you to be a person that you don't even recognize anymore. I lived that. I've done that. I perfected that. And y'all, I couldn't get out of it if I tried. Like I said, when we are sitting down having our girl time and they share with me some of the things that happened to them, and I own every bit of it. I don't care if I don't remember it. My children say I did it. I own that I did it. But I've also been able to express to others, people very close to me. I've also been able to stress to them and express to them, don't get caught up in this. Always be very conscious and very cautious of your behavior, because once you put it out there, you can't take it back. Once you do it, you cannot take it back. So, like I said, this live is all about transparency. I'm telling y'all, financial strain can completely take you out of your element. Financial strain can put you in a place where all you do all day long is fake it, because you're trying to put on the smile to hide the pain. You're trying to engage with others to hide exactly what you're dealing with. And then that's pressure because you're out there being fake. So, whatever you do, if you can start something to start generating income you control, just so you're able to build a safety net, so you're able to create a cushion, because we never know when something is coming up. We never ever know when something may hit us that we cannot control. I always go back to 2020, and everybody knows what happened in 2020. There was something nobody saw coming, but the fact that all of us experienced some form of shakeup during that time, and had some people had, I told y'all, I'm a salaried employee, and I work for an organization that we get paid regardless of whether we show up physically or not. So we were able to work from home. We were able to keep everything going, keep everything moving. The programming we had online, so we were able to do all of that. But y'all, so many people lost so much, not only their loved ones, their entire lives. I don't know if they've been able to find any sense of normalcy, even though we're almost 3 years past the heaviest part. So if you're able to control what you can control, and what you're able to control is the ability to generate additional income, the ability to get out from under someone else's pressure or someone else's hold on you, where you are not subservient or you are not at the mercy of their decisions, to just make a decision to jack up your entire financial stability, your financial survival. Make sure you start. I don't care what you start. All I care about is when you start. And there is no better time than the present. We're getting ready to go into a new year. It would be an absolute amazing thing if you make that promise and that commitment to yourself that you're not going to go into 2026 like you're leaving 2025. If you are leaving under chaos and pressure and just hurt and pain and feeling like you are not good enough, if you are feeling any sense of defeat because of your financial situation, make a plan. Make a plan, please. I've told you we have four e-learning programs. There are four e-learning programs that I personally sell, but because of the community I'm a part of, because of the skills that I learned within those four e-learning programs, not only am I able to sell those programs, those are done for you programs. I make absolutely no adjustments to them. I have an automated system. Someone asked me about getting into the program today, which level should they join under? And y'all, from 8 o'clock this morning to 6 o'clock tonight, I either laid in the bed or sat in the chair at my desk watching Lifetime. I did not do one thing for this business. That is what an automated business looks like. You create your content, you have your welcome page or your capture page where you, from your content, you invite people to join you. You tell them about these programs, you tell them about this community. Once they leave your content and they go to your capture page or your welcome page, they then get into your email funnel. They start receiving emails from you going even deeper about what this program is, what this process is. And they also get a copy. Hey, Polly, they also get a copy of our step-by-step blueprint. That is the blueprint that teaches you what to do, how to do it, and when to do it each day. We commit 2 hours of income earning activities every single day, meaning we commit 2 hours to working our business. You put in that time, 8 hours, 9 hours, 12 hours, sometimes 16 hours into building a business for other people. So you can certainly commit 2 hours into building something that is yours, something you own, something that can leave a legacy for your family. You get into it, you work on your income earning activities for 2 hours a day. And we also teach you within the program when to do that, how to do it. And it doesn't have to be 2 consecutive hours. You can wake up in the morning and before you get your day started, you can commit 30, 15 minutes right there, add another 30 minutes, add another 30 minutes, add another 30 minutes just in pockets of your day. I've said multiple times, I create content on my way to work. I create content sitting in Kroger parking lot. I create content waiting to place an order and then pick up my order in a Chick-fil-A line. There is no set rule that you have to be all military looking or whatever, or professional, y'all, because y'all see I'm all over the place. But you don't have to be a certain way in order to generate your content. All you need to do is get the word out. This is promoting what you have to sell. Promotions and marketing, that is the way all businesses grow. A business cannot open and just be there open and never tell anybody, we're open. This is what we sell. This is what we do. Take advantage of our goods, our products, or our services. If they did not promote it, if they did not market it, nobody would ever know what that business had for sale. So that's the same thing here. If I don't promote what I have to sell, nobody knows what I have available. And the space that we're in is digital, meaning that I don't just have local customers, I have worldwide customers. 11 days after I launched this business, I made my first sale. When I purchased my program, I did it on 4 payment plans. I did not have to pay my $900 at one time. I had 4 payment plans available. Before my second payment was due, I made every dime I invested back from someone in the Netherlands. Do not know that individual. I've still not spoken to that individual. I don't know if the individual is male or female because I have their email address. And then when they filled out, of course, I saw their name, but the name is unisex. The name is Kelly. I don't know who that is, or again, male or female. But I do know that I got in, I learned the skills in a short amount of time. I created content. At that time, I was on TikTok and I did free classified ads. So I don't know if they saw me on TikTok or on one of my ads. I have no idea. So what I'm telling you is you get into this, and I learned how to do classified ads. I learned how to really create content using the skills that I learned in this program. And in our program, we have a $100, $300, $600, $900, which is where I joined, and $1,400. The reason we now have a $1,400 program is because our 4 e-learning programs are now available in English and in Spanish. So you have an opportunity to reach those who now have Spanish as their first, second language, whichever, if they want to switch. We have the opportunity to reach people that we've really not had before. If, like I said, in our training, we have our English training and we also have full-blown Spanish training. So everything that we're seeing on the English side, it is available on the Spanish side. We are not shortchanging anybody. And like I said, the skills that I learned in our e-learning programs and also in our community by watching videos that were already recorded, by showing up for our live interactive training, by joining communities and getting additional training where I got some really sweet nuggets on how to show up and grow my channels. Y'all, for over a year, my channel did not go past 132 subscribers. And y'all may think this is small, and it is small, but I am so proud because as of October 28th, it started to elevate because I started implementing strategies that I learned from being a part of another community, being a part of a community that is a part of ours. And it has grown to 313. I am thrilled with that. When for a year it did not move and I was creating content, but when I add one more thing, that's when my channel started getting more exposure and people started subscribing to my channel because I'm hoping I am providing something that is useful and beneficial, and you want to come back and see whatever else I'm able to share to benefit you. That's my sole purpose. So if you're interested in creating your own digital products, I have videos also that walk you through in real simple terms because I'm real simple in this space. I'm still considering myself extremely new, extremely new. So I break it down so even somebody at elementary like me can understand it because I watched three content creators for 2 years. One, I mean, I was watching her every single day, trying to figure out how I could get in this digital space. Because, like I said, I started realizing in 2022, I better start doing something to prepare for retirement. At that point in time, it was 6 years away, but my mind was already in that space. What am I going to do to supplement my retirement? Because I knew I did not want to clock out for the last time where I am now and have to clock in somewhere else so I could supplement my income. So I started thinking back then, and I thought my only option was to go back to school and earn my master's degree. I am so grateful that I don't have to do that because I really didn't want to do that, but I knew I was going to need some type of supplementation. But I found it, or no, I was sent a video. And when I watched it, I knew this felt so natural for me. I mean, it felt like walking into home. It felt like a space that where I could fit, where I could find success, and a space that would feed me. And that's exactly what I found. Excuse me. And I have mentioned the additional learning aside from our e-learning programs, how much more I've learned from our community because of that one-on-one training, because of the interactive training, the one-on-one mentoring, being able to go into breakout rooms where you bounce ideas off of each other and you receive critique because you've got those quiet moments where you can really get in and dig in with others. who have the same vision and dreams and opportunities that you do. So you get into that space and you learn. It's all about learning. So in this space, we're able to learn and earn. Like I said, 11 days in, I got my first $900 customer. And getting that first customer really confirmed and solidified for me that I've made the right decision. Because again, the level of comfort, and I was so proud of myself watching those other content creators. They were so over my head. I'm like, how do I even get started? How do I create a product? They're saying so much and talking about how much they've made. How do I do this? As soon as I became a part of this community, we have a resource that is 200 digital product ideas, and it gives you ideas of creating digital products. Some, I'm just going to use a photographer. When it breaks down how a photographer can get into this digital space and create their own community to generate recurring income, recurring passive income, where they do not have to show up. That income is coming in consistently, whether they show up or not. That is passive income. Of course, active income is when you actually show up, you're actively engaging with whomever to generate that income. But passive income is that income coming in whether you show up, whether you clock in, whether you're watching Lifetime for almost 12 hours, as you're just doing whatever it is you want to do. Passive income is a beautiful thing. I also launched a digital store because I learned how to create digital products. I learned how to get those products downloaded. I learned how to have the products I create, once somebody purchased it and started to edit it, how it would not disturb my original copy. That's majorly important, because you don't want somebody to download your copy of a product that you've created, and all of a sudden the information they input is showing up on your original copy. If you don't download it the correct way, if you don't share it the correct way, that will happen. Not may happen, that will happen. So I learned all of those intricacies in this program. And even to invest at the $100 level, I had someone invest, and they were allowed, they came in August 29th. Their first payment, they did their payment plan on Klarna. Their first payment was due on September 29th. And they got into this to learn how to promote a business they already have. They weren't interested at all in selling these e-learning programs. Literally, not at all. But because they purchased the $100 program, they're able to sell the $100 program. But she 100% got into this to learn how to promote the business she already has. The skills that you're able to learn, the opportunities you're able to engage in. When you invest in that $100 program, you get additional bonuses. You learn Canva. There is a Canva training. So you're trained on how to use Canva for free. You get the 200 digital product ideas. You get the blueprint by our founder, a step-by-step blueprint. She literally tells you what she did on a daily basis, all throughout that day, how she earned six figures in 6 months. So you get that resource for free, to be able to follow it for free, to implement those strategies, to see if you're able to do the exact same thing, to find that success. We also have 90-day runs where she shows up every day and she's given us a nugget or a strategy or something to implement every single day. And those runs are like 30K in 90 days. We have 30-day runs, and it's 10K in 30 days. So she is showing up for us, y'all, really on a daily basis. I have never been a part of anything, even when I was in college, and professors are paid to instruct you. They are paid to engage with you. I have never seen this level of engagement, this level of sophistication, this level of professionalism, and certainly this level of care. The amount of care and compassion we get from our founder is incomparable. Listen, it really, really is. And it feels so good to constantly be poured into and then in turn be able to share that with somebody else. Now, I've never been shy in my life, but I have gained so much confidence by being a part of this program that I show up differently. I even show up at my job differently with a lot more authority and confidence in myself. I got that from this program because of the way we engage. So, even again, investing with that $100, purchasing that $100 program, the payment plans. I think she may have, I don't even know if she was paying $25 a month for the program. But another person bought the $300 program. She was given a year. Now, she certainly was paying $25 a month on her payment plan, paying $25 a month for a full year. So she is able to generate income. She is able to use the skills learned in that program to promote another business. Many people jump into this just to learn the skills because they have a brick and mortar or they have another online business. So learning the skills that we're exposed to on a daily basis, literally 24/7. Because if we have live trainings, those trainings are recorded. So at any given moment, if I wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I've done this, and I decide I want to go back for a refresher, I can go back and look at a video, whether I showed up for it live or not. I have access to it to not only build my skills, but to build my brand, to build my knowledge, to learn how to navigate this digital space, to use social media the right way. And when I say using it the right way, that is to fall back on being a content consumer and to get in the space of being a content creator so that you can become monetized, so that you can get into affiliate marketing, so you can learn to create your own products and you can launch your own business online in this digital space where, again, you're not relegated to your location. You're exposed to a worldwide audience. First customer from the Netherlands, that was Kelly. So you're able to do what you do and you learn step by step how to do it. You are never alone. So you can either create your own digital products and sell them for whatever you sell them for, or you can have an opportunity to sell products that are done for you. You literally do nothing. You also get a website that has been built for you. You literally plug in your personal payment gateways. So if you want to be paid through PayPal, if you want to be paid through Stripe, Square, whatever your payment gateway is, you personalize that. You put your own picture, you put your own bio. Everything else is already set up. It's literally plug and play. You do not have to be tech savvy. All you need is your cell phone and Wi-Fi in order to build your business, because everything is done for you. Excuse me, you do not need a computer, you don't need a tablet, cell phone, and Wi-Fi when you're in business. You set up your system 2 days time, if that long. If you want to stay up and get it done, you can set it up in a day, get it up and running. You can set it up in a few hours. I think one person set up theirs in 3 hours and they were ready to be in business 3 hours after they purchased their program, because you're told everything to do. We have videos that walk you through the entire process. So you don't learn to do anything without a resource. And I mean nothing. Everything has a resource attached, and you are taught exactly how to do it without wasting time. Without wasting time. So, if anyone is interested in making sure you do not get into a space where your financial troubles and your financial struggles overtake you, change your DNA, change your personality to someone you're not even able to recognize anymore. I did that. Been there. If you want to make sure you don't fall into that trap, if you want to make sure you do any and everything to alleviate the pain, the chaos, the confusion, and the detriment of being under a financial burden, please visit my website, y'all. You can find my link in my bio. Visit my website. Drop your email. You will immediately receive a copy of my Freedom Formula Blueprint. That is the blueprint that allowed me to earn that 10K in 30 days, y'all. Now, I put in the work. Lord knows I put in the work, and all the work I put in, I quit. I quit for 5 months because I needed to get myself together, and I did. And when I came back more determined and even a little bit more structured. So if you're wanting to just get into a space just to get yourself started, you can get started for as little as $100, as little as, depending on whether or not you've used Affirm, Klarna, PayPal. Oh, I can't remember the others. Anyway, depending on whether or not you've used them and used them a lot, you can get started. Your payment can be as little as $10 a month, as little as $10 a month. So it depends on your current activity on one of those payment plans. If you've already got an account established, and we have nothing to do with that, that is your business with them. All I know is if a payment plan is available to you, you can get started on a payment plan. So you can also be in the space of before your first payment is due, before your second payment is due, you can already be in profit mode. I told you the person who purchased the $100 program, she did not, she purchased on August 29th. She did not have a payment due whatsoever until September 29th. So she had an opportunity to make multiple sales before her first payment was due. So, y'all, we've literally set it up. So, if you get into it, you show up, you're committed, and you make the decision that come hell or high water, nothing is going to break your stride. You will not be deterred. You won't be denied from getting into a place where you are literally generating income you control so you can leave a legacy for your children. You can right now get in a space where you feel better about your financial stability. If you're ready to make that move, you can drop ready in my comments and I will get back with you. I will send you additional information. Again, this is a program that is already done for you. You do not have to be tech savvy. You promise you, you don't have to be tech savvy at all. Y'all, now I'm not afraid of all of this, but when I get into some platforms, yeah, I'm real nervous. I still don't know how to operate TikTok, but I'm showing up because I'm showing up to serve. I do not want anybody completely having their DNA change because of financial pressures like I was. So I'm offering you an opportunity. You know your current situation, you know your current condition. I do not, but I do know what this program has done for me. It has made a difference. And I do know that I now have my foundation to supplement my retirement income. In addition, I am building a business where I can leave a legacy for my children. When I retire in June of 2028, my children will retire as well because they are business minded. They have dreams and aspirations of running their own business. So I'm not going to just clock out for the last time. My girls are going to clock out for the last time as well. If you are ready to make a decision to own your shift, to generate income you control, I am here to walk alongside you. I am here to introduce you to a system that certainly works if you work it and works on all platforms. We have people generating income on LinkedIn, Pinterest, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube. I think I hit them all. Instagram, making money on all platforms. So wherever you're comfortable, wherever you're sure you're going to show up every day, we've got a step-by-step blueprint that you follow. We've got a blueprint for that 2-hour workday. I followed it for the first time, y'all. I'm so proud of me. I followed it for the first time yesterday. I followed it for the first time yesterday. In 7 months, I generated almost $15,000. I have quit for 5 months because of burnout. doing things that I was not taught to do in this system. I did things outside of what I was taught in this system, and that caused burnout for me. So once I shook it off, I came back 5 months later and not following what I'm told to do. I wasn't being rebellious. I was just doing my own thing because I could. But not following our step by step blueprint with our 2 hour workday, telling us what to do, when to do it, and how to do it step by step. Had I followed that, I have no doubt whatsoever that I would have generated so much more. I would have been more disciplined. I would have been able to share this without fear, without doubt, with total confidence and assurance, sharing it to any and everybody who would listen, that this program can make a difference in your life. So if you're ready to make that move, just let me know you're ready, and I would love to walk alongside you. TikTok, YouTube. Y'all have been fantabulous. Thank you so much. I gotta go and do my classified ads. That's what I do to wrap up the end of my day. That was the last component I needed to add to our 2 hour workday. So thank y'all again. I have enjoyed everybody. If you're interested, y'all can send me a message. You can get into my funnel where you get my email address and we can start communicating immediately. I'm here to show up for you. I appreciate y'all. Everybody have a wonderful, wonderful evening. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Bye.